not politics. Please don't forget, I'm just practicing to be a poet. Not qualified as yet, but have no fear, I'm gonna get there. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectation. Neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we'd never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline, but when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place, and a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold your yellow conviction strong, strong, strong. So why not send them advisors home? They're sucking money like water in foam. And rehire the Imanis, less stress on the economy. You are Manchester, hold up the country. You didn't see us down by the brewery when they send SSU to beat we. Trick us with campaign promises. We won't say your tease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease this strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good, cause it's a long time Grenada ain't eating food. You think politicians good? Trick us with campaign promises. We won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. You remember in the Bible, God had a plan for Jonah to restore Nineveh? But who will restore Grenada? Is it the same Jonah? Lots of doubt, so I ain't running up my mouth. And I ain't counting no chicken before the hatch. Politicians sometimes form a crooked batch. After they get the vote, they now sing one note. But here comes Fort Judy and Nancy Payne with millions.
And a good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. Those of you listening locally, regionally, and internationally, once again, it is time for Talking Points.
We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. So yellow people say.
My name's Sheldon Scott. I'll be with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 6 minutes after the hour of 8.
And from the mouth of Grenada, only one thing I utter. The Congress neglect us. The Congress fail us. And I could never understand the distribution of the wealth. So drink your bush home if you want good health. And for real, we appreciate the free barrel, but they only come in December. So what we are do from January to November? Suck salt and drink Nawasa water. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay.
You know what? Yeah, let's switch out the song tonight. Yeah, let's try our next one tonight. Yeah, I think I'll go with this one tonight. Nice. Yeah, let's try our next one tonight.
The NDC administration failing the first term, and they're begging for another one. Sing for them, sing for them. They're going the wrong way. Mash up NDC. They're going the wrong way. Cannot run this country. They're going the wrong way. The leader don't listen. They're going the wrong way. So they divide it into. They lie for the people. So many things they promise they go do. They say $700 not enough money. They go give 1,000 to them money. Soon as they get in power, the money program over. They go in the wrong way. One term NDC. They go in the wrong way. Cannot run this country. They go in the wrong way. They say the leader don't listen. They go in the wrong way. So they divide it into. I hear they say that they love the culture. The worst carnival we had in Grenada. 4 years now and things ain't getting better. And they keep pointing finger at one another. Carnival come and carnival go. Problems to pay price money, you know. They go in the wrong way. Mash up NDC. They go in the wrong way. Cannot run the country. They go in the wrong way. They say the leader don't listen. They go in the wrong way. So they divide it into. Behaving too ignorant.
And let me say some good nights here. Let me see. I can start here. Jillian, Nursey, Nika, here, Onika, good night to you. Hillary, Wendy, Agnes, Kathleen, Michelle, Amanda, Gertrude, Abraham, good night to you. Jacinta, Beavis, Lishra, and I'm seeing Cynthia, I'm seeing Jackie, Norma, Angie, good night to you. Eliza, Gloria, Clive, Brother Clive. Yeah, Christine, Adrian, what's good night to you, and Kathleen. I'm seeing Anne, Gloria, Oswald, Samantha. Good night to you. Anne-Marie, Faith. Did I call Faithlyn before? I think I called Faithlyn, but just in case, good night, Faithlyn. Always there. Anna Barbara, good night to you. Ann Barbara, sorry. This is Ann Barbara, not Anna Barbara. Ann Barbara, good night to you. Gavin, I'm seeing Deborah. I'm seeing Jillian, the other Jillian, not the same Jillian, right? Sherma, as usual. See you there, my dear. I'm seeing Maria and Gemma and Wilma over on the YouTube. And yeah, good night to you, Joyce. Yes. Dave, good night to you as well. Yeah, getting them on the WhatsApp there. Shelby, good night to you. Lisa, and let me see, Karen, Kenisha, Latoya, Agatha, Matthew. Good night to you out there in Brooklyn. Sherry, Rodney, Denise, Shemaine, good night, my dear. Cynthia, seeing Wendy and Jillian. I'm seeing Maria, Keisha. Yeah. Seeing everybody on tonight, man.
Beast and Scholar could tell you. They fed up for true.
Yeah, let me see who else is here. I'm seeing Edlin, ShopRite, Duncan, what's up, man? Christ Mombage, Leonard, Martine, Alexander, Julius, Red Girl, good night to you. Shemi, Tora, yeah, you realize the voice starts up again. Mavis, Dominic, Cicely, Sharon, McLean, Everett, good night. Trisha, Ibrahim, Dena, seeing Veronica, Linda, Melda, Francois. Linda, that's the only name, but that's how to call the whole thing. Kishon. So good night to all of you on the Facebook. And Maxan, I nearly miss you there, Sam. Nikishoy, what's up? Annette, yeah, and Nakisha. It's a Nekisha and it's a Nakisha. So good night to both of you. All right. Marsha, Joycelyn, Shirley, Tora. Good night to you. Karen, good night to you as well, Annette. All right, yeah. So everyone is on. And folks, we're going to start one time, eh? Yeah, we're going to start one time. And remember, we're leaving the phone lines open. If you want to call, you can call. The phone lines are open. 440-7377. You can call via the WhatsApp. You could call directly. And if you're outside of Grenada, you can call us on 347-329-3101. So several things. First one. I'm hearing that there's a new CEO to Spice Mass. Over the weekend, I was hearing one name. Now I'm hearing another name. The thing is that the name I was hearing over the weekend is one person, and the other name I'm hearing is the next person. So the first name is the same, but the surname is different. Yeah? So I'm not positive yet which one is the new CEO of Spice Mass. Because remember, we told you here that Spice Mass would be having a new CEO. So now we're hearing that somebody by the name of Cecil, yeah, is now the CEO of Spice Mass, which I find to be pretty strange because as far as I know, Gail, good night. As far as I know, you are supposed to advertise that position. Nobody's just supposed to walk into the position as the CEO of the Spice Mass Corporation. Yeah? As far as I know, and I believe as far as the system operates, there is supposed to be an ad placed in various newspapers that the Spice Mass Corporation is seeking a CEO. You're supposed to collect from different people their CVs, and so people who want to apply, and then you're supposed to have a vetting process, and then a selection is supposed to take place. But it seems as though there is no due diligence, and there seems to be no system in place for these kind of things under this administration. So instead of seeing something going out, because I read the newspapers, and so I go through the newspapers, and I didn't see anything in the newspapers. So I am wondering what is taking place. How could they just hire someone and put them into the position without going through the proper procedure and protocols? I know that in a number of weeks we will be having the launch of Spice Mass 2023 that will be taking place. We know that the old CEO decided he ain't taking me. Boy, I go in. He done with that, right? So that you're going to be having a new, or they now have, as far as I'm hearing, a new CEO in Spice Mass. And I want to know how that is possible if you have not, one, advertised the position as being available and gone through the proper procedure and process of having various applicants, and then whittling down those applicants to the person that you selected. It cannot simply be a situation that you decide, hey, we like that guy and we take he, and you make them the CEO of Spice Mass. That is not the procedure. That is not how it is supposed to happen. That is not how it's supposed to go forward. Yeah? So as I said, I'm holding on to the surnames because I want to confirm. I was hearing one surname, now I'm hearing another surname, but the same first name. So I'm wondering if folks aren't mixing up the two. But I'm hearing it's a Cecil that is now the CEO of Spice Mass. So again, I'm questioning the procedure in selecting a CEO for Spice Mass, because these are the people that used to complain and say the NNP just doing things willy-nilly, helter-skelter, just hiring people and doing all kinds. These were the people that used to accuse the NNP of doing all of this. So I'm simply asking the question, as there is now a new, as we are hearing, CEO of Spice Mass, what was the procedure in hiring or selecting that individual? Yeah? In selecting that individual to be the new CEO of the Spice Mass Corporation. Was the position advertised as per the rules of government? Was the position advertised? And if so, how many people applied for that position? How many people applied for the position? Yeah? And therefore we would understand that you had 4 or 5, or you had 3, or you only had 2, or there was only one person that applied, and when you check they had the qualifications. Let us know what took place. Because we know that we have a kind of Spice Mass Corporation board right now. A part of it is being remote controlled. In other words, it's not people that are located here in Grenada. So we understand that part of the board here, part of the board outside of Grenada. So it's a kind of remote control kind of thing taking place there with it. But there are procedures that must be followed in instances like this when you're hiring people, for, especially for these major positions. That the positions must be advertised and so on. So I'm asking the question for what it's worth. All right? I'm asking the question for what it's worth.
They say when you don't have good food, you must take in front. So this is my Kaiso for the Masgra 2023.
Sharon, good night to you.
Support me.
Angus, yeah, good night, bro.
Kaiso.
Gil, I see you.
There is no place in the world like Grenada. Its people are so unique, so fabulous. They take politics real serious. You can't tell a man nothing wrong about his party.
Yeah, so we want to know. We want to know because there are rules and procedures. And we're going to come to some more rules and procedures in a little while in relation to other things. But there are rules and procedures. So we want to know what has taken place. Also, oh yes, I haven't seen Antonito onto the live for a little while. I know he had a problem with his device. But don't worry. Antonito, yeah, he had a problem with his device. I think his mobile crashed. Yeah. So I don't know if it's in the repair shop or what is taking place. But don't worry. We will try and handle Antonito. All right? Nice. Yeah, all of us as a family, we will try and find Antonito and handle Antonito. Yeah. Williams, good night to you. Yeah, Jakeem, good night to you. Another question I have to ask. There's a situation that I've been made aware of. Yeah? Kinza Abraham, good night to you. Sorry, but I've not seen you showing up, so I don't... How is Jamari? Good night, my dear. Good night, my dear. Another question I have to ask, though. What is the situation with these two categories of people? One, pensioners. This is the second month in a row that I'm hearing of pensioners not receiving their pension. I know. I'm not saying I heard of or I think I know or it is alleged. I'm saying I know of pensioners who have not received their pension up to today, the 28th day of February 2023. I know for a fact that there are pensioners who have not received their pension up to today. I'm not talking about the people under the seed. Yeah, I'm not talking about the people under the seat, you know. I'm talking about people who are pensioners. You know those pensioners, like people who work with government for X amount and full pensioners. Yes. I think we have a caller on the WhatsApp line. Good night.
Hey,
Hello.
good night, Sheldon. How you doing?
Hey, I'm fine. You go right ahead.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. So here's what Anthony to here.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know. You see, you've been having problems with your device. I heard, man.
Yeah. So and me and Zuckerberg have a little problem. Zuckerberg had a little problem. Yeah, but on the YouTube side, but I'm monitoring the Facebook and I'm monitoring on the TV also, so I could interact.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. I've been listening for the last couple of days, to be honest, and like last night and all the days gone by, I didn't miss anything. I was in tune. I was watching. And you're hearing certain things about certain ministers, certain senators, and certain members of this party that is ruling this country called the NDC. And yet for all, today is the 28th day of February. And there's no, what you call a press conference, there's no interaction. All you're having is a fun day. They will go in Grenville and play domino. They'll go wherever and feel that is what the people want. People that want this kind of thing because I'm watching online the journalists who are supposed to be friendly to them. And I'm seeing their statements, and they can be crookish, but I'm seeing their statements, right? And to me, I listened to a program this morning. I'm sure every one of us listened to the number one program this morning in Grenada, 6:30. When people call in and plead their cause. And I'm listening to these callers and I'm enjoying myself. And you know what I want to ask? Regardless of what, a minister or ministers, whoever in government, when you become a member of parliament, you're supposed to recluse yourself of any business that you own. So even if you had the financial backings of that company, you cannot use that as collateral to get a loan, much less 2.3 million as is alleged. And if your salary is $8,000 a month, when it was $6,000 and the Prime Minister give $2,000, as they say, ministers was going into the central, and I want the central police workers, the men that work in there, go on radio and denounce this nonsense that is continuing to be spewed by a nonsensical idiot on radio every morning. Because he's saying that ministers, if there are 3 vehicles, they can go there with 3 vehicles in the daytime, when that was not the case. Kalisa Faria bring that to the Prime Minister, the present Prime Minister, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and he just shook it up. He shook his shoulder. She said she investigated that, and that's not the case. The ministers, whoever was going there, it was $800 a month. Yet still, you have somebody on radio still spreading this rumor. Right? But anyhow, what I'm talking about, how you explain a minister of government whose salary is $8,000 a month paying back 2.3 million as is alleged, not only from a normal banking, the Development Bank of Grenada, the bank that sponsors or gives loan for development of small people, small businesses. How you explain that? This kind of dark smoke thing about who's going for general secretary and asking when NMP has their convention. This dark smoke, come on and you see. All you have a press secretary making a set of money, give her work to do. I don't care where Deacon stay or Honorable Deacon Mitchell stay. I don't care. You can send a C if you want. But come to the Grenada people and tell them what is happening in Grenada, because what I'm hearing on the ground, there are shootings going on still, right? There are ministers that is bouncing people's vehicle, and when they approach, they're not answering question. There's a minister that apparently is Prime Minister in Carriacou, and they say that he has his own vehicle, which he's not supposed to have his own vehicle driving around. He's supposed to be paid the $2,000. And you're hearing all kinds of different things. If that's the case, you guys need to put out your PR. And if you can't do that, you're all in for a very hard, rude awakening. I'm listening still.
I'll talk to you in a bit. Let me ask you a question here. We're hearing all of the allegations and so, but you know, one of the things that really gets at me is the vile nature of the people who are attempting to defend the government. It's like some of these individuals, like they don't know what it is like to be poor, or they have no understanding, or they forget what it's like to be poor. So when they hear that the government was trying to help under the NNP, they were trying to help some poor person. They go and they make the pile of children, and then that kind of statement, and that they must go and damn well work. They must go and damn well work. You understand that kind of thing?
So right, but I just say that I don't want to go to that level, but I don't listen to all programs political in the Caribbean. So I just tell you I don't listen. So when I get angry, it's because of this nonsense. I won't call no name, but I heard a certain political program Sunday gone with a guy making some assumptions of what he heard with a guy that support NNP and with his lawyer and whoever and who he interviewed. And for some reason, maybe God intervened and cut out the program for about 2 minutes so that thing wasn't heard on the radio. And what the guy is perpetrating is that, what was going on. I was like, dude, you should be the last person to be talking about what you're talking about there, because if NNP and Dr. Mitchell had done what they were supposed to do with you wouldn't have had the mouth to be talking. And if people that support you know your nasty behavior, and Sheldon, I have no remorse by saying this, if they only know, because it's about time we get serious with this. Dr. Mitchell was being called dictator. All kind of name, and Ms. Camila rightly say. I would never say that Dr. Mitchell is the best thing for Grenada or the worst thing for Grenada. Right? I've been under this party as a member since 1999 under Augustine John, right? Up to this very day. So I know what I'm talking about. So when I know about these people and them, when they say they walk out of the party because they was what? They see the nonsense. They didn't walk out. He was lifted and thrown out of the party. Literally lifted and thrown out. So
my brother, I often tell you, I will not waste time on my program addressing those individuals. Stop it. And not with no. You address them, but not on this program. I am not going to waste valuable time. We could be discussing issues to discuss them kind of people.
But anyhow, I'm listening.
All right, my brother.
I'm listening.
Yeah. No, I'm serious about that. I'm not going to make you see, you have to understand what some people do. Some people want you to make your program about them and not discuss the issues, because we have important issues to discuss. I'm not going to discuss that individual. I'm not going to waste time on, and it's not a matter, you're afraid them or anything. You're just not going to waste valuable time talking about them. We have issues here, for instance, I was saying, some pensioners have not been paid. They had that problem last month. Well, I don't know if they end up getting it last month, late, as in nearly to the middle of the month. But again, that problem has cropped up now again, that some pensioners today, the final day of February 2023, have not been paid. You have a situation with the people who do the asphalt contract, those who do the road paving and that kind of thing. In some instances, some of these people have not been paid for 2 months. 2 months. We are at the end of February now. So these people, last money that they get was in December. And the messaging, they're talking about it. I know people that work in the program. And they have not received money since last year, basically. That is unfair. That is unfair. And what? We're supposed to keep quiet on issues like this? Every time we talk, they want to jump down with truth. And in relation to the issue with the minister, somebody was talking with me today, and I'm wondering if the information in relation to that loan, if that information was not circulated by members of the NDC initially. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that. I've been hearing bits and pieces in relation to that GDB loan allegation. I've been hearing bits and pieces about that for about the last 3 to 4 months. I've been hearing it. I heard it. It's nothing new to me. I heard it because it was mentioned on a particular program last week. I think with Kalistra Faria and Jenny Rapier, because Jenny raised the issue A lot of people who did not know now know. But I knew of that. And I'm wondering, and listen to me carefully, I'm wondering if the issue has not been exposed by some NDC people to deny other NDC people from getting the position they want at convention on Sunday. Isn't it sort of strange that that issue becomes topical just about a week and some before the individual goes for the position of general secretary of that party? That is not the NNP trying to make sure the person doesn't get that position. Understand the dynamics that are taking place within the NDC itself. And I think we have a caller online. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night. Oh boy, I lost that caller. Caller, give me a call back. Call on the WhatsApp, give me a call back. Or the caller on the local line, give me a call back. I lost the two calls. Yeah. Couldn't it be a situation? Let me take the call on the landline. Hello, good night. Oh boy, lost that one. So let's try the other one and see if we get that caller. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Yes, caller, go right ahead.
How everything?
I'm good.
Yeah, Brother Sheldon, I remember the election campaign, and the campaign was saying, when a man gets into politics and a man naked, you give him a chance to be your candidate for that area. And what that man going to do, he will look after himself first, right? Before you look after people. And this is what you see going on. All them candidates, they look at themselves first. They just, even the people who support them, they don't even care about them. They're seeking the interest first. While they have people that support them, they're catching the hell. They're catching the hell to make a living with. They have a family. And but they don't care about them. Because when you have, remember the Prime Minister said that he giving their ministers $2,000 more. Because that's more enough. Because if you leave it like that, they go end up in corruption. Brother Sheldon, the $2,000 more didn't change anything. It is same thing. Because when you have people that have corruption in their name before they get in politics, when they become ministers or senators, you think that change? They get worse. Right? You get worse. And Brother Sheldon, what I recognize, like as a leader, the children can sing a different song to you. If you want to sing a different song to the Prime Minister, they go get vexed you. You have to sing the same song that the leader is singing. And if you remember the Kilby Claddock, in the Senate, the Grenadier, we need to come and speak the truth to the Grenadier people. I understand that when Clyde made a statement, a lot of people vexed with that. Right? Look at Gloria Thomas, Honorable Gloria Thomas. What she said again concerning the seed. Within 2 days, they have to change the tune and sing the same tune as the leader singing. So that you have a leader, right? Encourage people to lie. Hiring people to lie and to spread propaganda. And what I always say, Brother Sheldon, there are some people, they're good in a position. But when they come for govern, they can't govern. All they know about is to spread propaganda, and the same thing they do. They in office, they set up the help, and they bring people together. What they're doing, they dividing, and they set propaganda they're preaching. They don't even hire a man to pay to the worker. They hire people to spread propaganda for them. That's the people they hire. So, Brother Sheldon, have a blessed night.
All right, my brother. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside via WhatsApp or directly here. So I'm wondering, I'm not saying that the allegation may not be true. I'm saying that the information could have been put out by certain elements within the NDC that are trying to skew the votes at the convention towards one candidate for general secretary and away from another candidate for general secretary. All you know them tactics and them there. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night, my dear.
With pensioners, it's not a rumor, it's the truth.
Yeah, I just got another message.
Since January and February, I'm a pensioner. No money. When called the treasury, they said by the 18th, and it's a set of rigmarole. It's like I signed the form in November, and they saying, oh, you're supposed to sign a form in December too, where the secretariat said to us, the new pensioners, that we don't have to sign a form until June. So it's not a rumor. Government has not been paid certain category of workers since January.
All right.
So I was told yesterday that by the 18th, being as the form went in only because I had traveled and came back, and I bring in the form because they asked me to bring in a form.
Mm-hmm.
I bring it in on Monday, so they say by the 18th of March, hopefully I will get my money. When I ask other colleagues, they don't get anything. So it's not a rumor, it's the truth.
My goodness. All right, my dear.
Okay.
Thanks for your contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been hearing this thing because I know last month, I know of several pensioners that did not receive their pension. Again, I am hearing, and look, other messages are coming in of people that have not received their pensions since December. And some of them are being told that they didn't provide their proof of life. You know, you have this document that has to be signed by, I think it's either a priest or a medical doctor, and so, or a senior police officer, I believe, can sign it as well. They sign that so that you could continue receiving a pension. It means that the person is still alive. And in this instance of one of the people that just messaged me there, same as the person that just called, they did that in December. They submitted their documentation in December, and they have not received their pension since last year. Last year was the last time they received pension. So this is not a rumor. That's why I said earlier, it's not a rumor. It's not an allegation. It's a fact that you have several pensioners who have not received their money. You have the people who are working in the asphalt program who have not received their money. What is taking place with that? And again, you're in a situation that you cannot question your government on these issues because they are hiding. They refuse to have the post-cabinet press briefing on a specific regular basis. They just call them willy-nilly once every 3 or 4 months. They don't place themselves at the disposal of the media so that the media can ask them questions, and so they speak in functions, and as soon as they can get to their vehicle, it's races. They're out of there because they don't want any of the media people to stop them and ask them any questions. Here it is. You have these serious allegations against a sitting member of parliament, a cabinet member, and all these idiots and them that calling the program about what wrong with a minister taking a loan. All of them are a bunch of hypocrite. All of them. Bunch of hypocrite. They could call me what they want, you know. I ain't care. All of them are a bunch of hypocrites. Because had it been the NNP in office and an NNP minister, whether you are a senator or whether you are a parliamentary rep, had gone to the GDB and take any loan, be it for 100,000 or $1, had taken any loan from the GDB, you would have seen these same people with placards stand up in front of the GDB say they're defending Grenadian money. The same people who saying that nothing wrong with that. The same people, I just missed a call back. The same people who saying that nothing wrong with that if a minister can take a loan too. You would have heard them. We have a caller online.
Oh, good night.
Hey, good night.
Yeah, Sheldon, I just want to make a quick point here.
You could take your time with the point. Make your point, man. You could take your time. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sheldon, my concern is a government just get into office. They increase the salary by $2,000. Whether they label it as traveling allowances or not. And you have the Prime Minister who has a Prime Minister resident in Grenada. And he is not living there, putting more burden on taxpayers of this country. And you increase your salary, your minister's salary by $2,000. It's a clear indication that these men and women are not considering the poor people of this country. The more we could take from Grenada is the better. Some money is going to some big boy pocket, a house, a landlord, and it is allegedly said that the rent for the Prime Minister resident is $24,000 a month. $24,000 a month for the Prime Minister resident. I'm just checking it at 10 months for the year. That is $240,000. Imagine 2 or 3 years down the road. So, in my opinion, remove 150 from the poor people of this country, and you're lavishing your parliamentarian with an excess of $2,000, calling it travel allowance, with no tax coming out on it. Come on, man. Grenadians, all you wake up. These people is not supporting Grenada. They're supporting themselves. They don't like us. It's time that we get this thing straight in our head. I'm just looking at this, the little aspect of what is going on. People, pensioners has not been paid for more than 2 months now.
My brother, while you're speaking here, another pensioner has just messaged me to tell me that they are still waiting on their January pension. This one is an ex-serviceman.
I was told today by a pensioner that a retiree from since November. I don't want to call that individual name. From since November have not received their pension as yet, and they're still waiting. They retire in November last year, and they have not received a cent. That person was working abroad, was protocol officers in Grenada, and now they have not received a cent yet. Down to today, they was telling me that, and they depend on pension to survive. Children, it's time that Grenadian people should wise up and come to the reality of what is happening in our country. Thank you very much.
All right, my brother. Yes, indeed, folks. And this is no joke. This is a serious situation because these people, remember, they have no other source of income. Their pension is it, right? And they are not receiving their pension. So remember, you already have people that are in a situation that the 150 that they used to get, that they would have used, that they used to use to get medication, etc., that's gone. Now you have a situation with pensioners who are not receiving their pensions. We have a caller. Good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon.
How are you doing, bro?
Hey, just good, man.
All right.
Sheldon, I asked a question this morning on a certain program. Because when allegations, Sheldon, make a country or bring our country into a kind of shame, you have to get, some explanation whether this is true or not. And the chatters on the street asked me to ask that question because they wanted to know if the allegation is true or false. I didn't get an answer that was true or false, but I get some arrogance. And not from the people who I asked the question to, but from people who I asked them not to answer because I am not speaking to them. But they answer. And they display some arrogance. And the type of arrogance I see, I've never seen that arrogance show in this country like that before. It's like they say, since when a minister will have to say, or anybody will have to say when they take a loan, not understanding that that loan is not just an ordinary loan, and it didn't come from just an ordinary bank. The allegation was made that loan came from the development bank. That bank is funded by the consolidated fund. Maybe 100%, 80 to 100%. It is funded by the consolidated fund. So any loan coming from there And that kind of loan is not just an ordinary loan. It's a loan. The allegation talk about that loan in the millions of dollars. And, you know, it's like somebody, a sitting minister, that allegation is going against. Getting a loan from the consolidated fund is like you're borrowing money from the treasury. And the problem is that allegation should be dealt with. It should be answered in a proper way. No, this is not true. This is just an allegation, and it is not true, or yes. Because it hurts a lot of people hearing that allegation out, and it brings a deep sense of shame to Grenada, because it is the people's money. When people react and say, well, he don't have to give no answer, or if he get a loan, and he didn't thief it. But that type of loan, coming from a bank which was not designated to give that type of loan, when a business fails, or you owe people, or you issue according to the charters of the street, because there is so much to this thing. The charters say that checks was issued to businesses which they believe was bouncing around, or bounce around. And that loan was to compensate or to take away shame. Such allegations, Sheldon, coming against somebody, is an allegation that deals with that person really as a failure. And that person should not have been in government. If this thing is true, that person should not be in government. Because you don't take somebody as a failure and put them in government and then want the government to bail them out. Instead, they say they come to save we, but it seems like they need to save themselves. They wasn't saving themselves. So such person or such allegation should be dealt with. It should be answered so it could put peace in the people's mind. Mm-hmm. And I am saying, I think that the people have a right to ask when they hear something. Nobody's accusing nobody, but they're asking for answers because they hear. The people hear and the people want an answer. And I know if it was Dr. Mitchell who was in office, an answer would have come speedily to the people. In fact, unions and all kind of things would have been demanding answers. Even though it's true or false, they would have been demanding answers. But we see how quiet, how people, instead of that, people try to insult the Grenadian people by saying to them, we don't have to give no accountability for that.
Because, and again, I heard when you called this morning, and I heard the responses from one from, I know one is they have to call. They have no choice but to call because they don't feel the pain of the people that's suffering out there. Their bread is well. In fact, it's not a bread butter now. Right now, they donut and the cake icing. So it's not even bread they're eating. They're eating that. You understand? So
and you know, the thing that went so wrong is to say all your teeth and all your teeth before. So we could do that because all your teeth before. This thing is not, these people are not serious about running country.
But my friend, there's the integrity in public life legislation. And I believe that members of this government indeed need to read that legislation. There are several things in there that they are finding themselves in breach of if what is being alleged is true. They're finding themselves in breach of several things. Now, the problem here is not that a minister take loan. Every single minister probably have a loan somewhere or the other, right? But it is where they take it from. As you have just said, it is coming from money that's coming from the consolidated fund. The GDP is controlled by the government. The optics are wrong. It appears as though a government minister and his party or his administration use their influence to bail one of their own out financially. That is what it looks like. Anybody with common sense who is being realistic to themselves will understand what you said this morning. Anybody that's realistic and understands what is being said now, would understand clearly what the optics are there, and the optics look wrong. It looks wrong. That you have an individual who is a sitting government minister And if the allegation is true, that individual got 2.3. Well, I'm hearing people saying 2.3 and I'm hearing 2.7. But whatever, over $2 million. That's the allegation. Meanwhile, you have people who are on scholarships down to SGU and other places catching their royal to get money off of this government to go and study. And that's not millions of dollars. That's a couple $1,000s. And you have this government refusing to pay for some of these students, telling them things like take some time off or reapply, or kicking off people who are under the program during the time of the new National Party, kicking some of the people off from the scholarship program. Meanwhile, you're telling me, while that is happening, while you're taking $150 from the poor and vulnerable people in this country, while you've added $2,000 onto your own non-taxable, that it is okay then for a minister who is sitting in cabinet where the affairs of the GDB are also discussed because they have to send reports and so on, where the funds for the GDB is coming from, it's okay to take a 2-point-something million from that, and you find nothing wrong with that? Oh, a minister could take a loan? Yeah, go in the commercial banks.
The arrogance, Sheldon, that particular individual displayed this morning, it makes me remember that,
Just remember when you hear certain voices, because the children involved in certain things with the government, high up there, and they're on how much different board and thing, they don't have to worry about nothing. So they could call and they could cuss people and say things about people and so because they don't care. I am sure that they pocket fat today. Meanwhile, you have ex-police officers who retired that can't receive their pension yet. You have people who working in the asphalt gang, 2 months now can't get paid yet. In other words, these people haven't been paid since last year. And you have other categories of workers, people that have spoken to me personally. They whisper to me and tell me straight up, Sheldon, I have not been paid since December.
Sheldon, I was always say something, and especially to that individual, and that individual not learning. I always said to that individual, when donkey don't know nothing about Colgate, he shouldn't pick up toothbrush. And, over and over, that individual just don't understand that. That individual really don't understand how institution works, how governments work. The things you might hear that individual saying it. Sometimes you will believe Grenada just start. Like June 13, when it was there, that Grenada just started that time. Election day, that's when Grenada started, the next day. Everything in Grenada just started. People just start to go this. People just start to do this. And the person lack institutional knowledge. The person lack political awareness. So they just say anything. I mean, you have your son there and you have to defend for your son. But I believe that person need to go back and think more. What they're doing, they're more hurting the country when they answer in this kind of way, because people listen to us outside of the diaspora. Mm-hmm. People listen to us already, and they want to know what kind of politics Grenada have, what kind of politician this country has.
Oh, man, it's difficult. All right, my brother.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Yes, indeed, folks. And I'd like to say a special good night to our listeners via Real 91.9, 91.5 FM, and those who are listening to us via the Real FM website, therealfmgrenada.com. So let's say a special good night to the listeners who are joining us tonight via Real FM. And let me see here. The interns at the General Hospital haven't been paid as yet either. Yeah, so the information is coming in, They could make them sign as much thing as they want to sign and all kind of thing. Yeah, I'll show you what they want them sign. Let me show you what they want them. All they didn't have it too, yeah, that day. Yeah, they want them sign. They want them sign, not that one. But this, we know that this came out. We know that this document came out and that was circulated asking them to sign document and all kind of thing. All right. And then let me just pull up the document itself. I have it here. Let me just make sure. Right. So the document itself, let's show you the document itself that they're asking them to sign. That's what they're asking all the civil servants to sign. In fact, the Ministry of Youth, yeah, they call all you down tomorrow. You make sure and go down and sign and think. They go ask all you to put all your phones in a box. they're going to ask you all, and they kind of tell all you last minute because they was hoping that, I would know and that, people would know and that kind of thing. What is going on in the Ministry of Youth, where they're calling in the staff and they're telling them that to come in front of the administrative officer and sign tomorrow and thing. Yeah, we know, yeah. So the supervisors and they are going to be down at the youth center. We know they're going to be down there for 9 o'clock tomorrow. We know that's taking place. All right. And after that meeting or before that meeting or so, they're going to speak to all you and tell all you, hush all your mouth. And they're going to say, don't share the secrecy document like I already have there. They're going to say, don't share the document that say don't leak. Yeah, they're going to tell all you, don't leak it, like the one that we have up right now. They're going to tell all you, don't leak that document, right? So we know all you have that meeting with the administrative officer and the senior administrative officer. I don't think it's necessary to call their names, but I know their names, Miss R and Miss B. So that is going to be taking place tomorrow because they are not to blame for what they're being asked to do. The government of Grenada is forcing these people to do the things that they have to do. All right? So they're having a supervisors meeting. They won't call you and make you sign your document that you have to say anything happening in the ministry, you can't come out and say. So if you see corrupt things happening in the ministry being run by Ron Redhead, you are not supposed to talk. If you see corrupt things taking place there, they make you sign a document that you can't come out and say anything. Let the corruption flow. Yeah? They come and they're telling all of that last minute and all kind of thing. Yeah, so all you have to go and sign. All you have to look the document. That is the document all you have to go and sign tomorrow. Yeah, if they want to change it between tonight and tomorrow, they could change it. But it's too late for that. We see it already. All right? Yeah. Because that is what is taking place in this country. That wall of silence that the NDC has built around themselves. So when you hear things, as you hear what is being alleged has taken place in St. Mark, when you're hearing those things, they refuse to come out. Yeah? They refuse to come out and say anything. They don't want to tell you it's true. They don't want to tell you it's not true. As far as they're concerned, who the hell is you to ask them? As far as they're concerned, they are minister so-and-so, They are MP so-and-so and senator so-and-so. So they up there. So who is you, the average Grenadian, to ask them any question? As far as they're concerned, who the hell are the journalists to ask them any questions? That is the attitude that they are displaying. So when you hear these things, you realize what is taking place. And then after they do all these things to the civil servants, they go and they're having the bonding session at the Radisson from 8 to 4 with the PSs and the ministers and so. So the ministers and the PSs go in and try to bond right now. Apparently they haven't been bonding well. All they want some super glue, all they want crazy glue, all they want gorilla glue, all they want some duct tape. I could help all it to bond. Yeah. So they go in and try to bond. They're having a bonding session at the Radisson. I wonder who paying for that. But anyway, they're having the bonding session at the Radisson Hotel on Friday. All right. So that is between 8 to 4. Media, all you could go down there and see what's going on. I'm telling all you what's taking place. Go down there and see what's taking place now. Are you afraid? Go there and see what's taking place. They sent home the people from marketing board today. The people got their letters. They were sent home today. Yeah? We know that the people in the marketing board, they were terminated today. They got the payments and so, and that was it. That was it for them. Yeah? They got their termination letters today. We had to block off part side because, even though the person might not be working with marketing board again, they still try to find ways to spite people. So we have to protect we people. Yeah? So yeah, they got to determine. Oh, what do you mean how I have it? No, they say don't share thing. Better to tell them share. Because no self. Yeah? So that is one of the letters that they gave the individuals today. Yeah? I'm still looking for the thank you for your service. That kind of thing, I'm still looking for, we thank you for your years of service. Yeah, I'm still looking to see if they have that anywhere there or any kind of thing. even though you're paying the person, that you could tell them, hey, we thank you for your service. We thank you for all that you have done for the organization. We thank you. But I ain't seen that there. I mean, all you could see, all you could read, ain't it? I ain't seen that there. Somebody went to the hospital today. They say they come down to the hospital. No doctors. That is what somebody say. I was not the one that went to the hospital. Any of you that went or had people that visited the hospital today could confirm if that is so or not. But we're hearing the situation, people going to the hospital, no doctors. We already know it ain't no medication because people are having their surgeries put back and back and back. And meanwhile, when the Cubans would have been able to help us in a situation like that, when the Cubans would have been able to help us in a situation like that, they are being disrespected again and again by the NDC administration. So they come to the park, Independence, you don't even call the people name. Yeah? They inviting the minister to come, they ain't even coming. Yeah? So now people go into the hospital where you could have had additional doctors. Probably if you go to Cuba and you ask them, you say, okay, we need 2 gynecologists. We need a cardiac specialist. We need an ophthalmologist. Yeah? You go, you say, we need 2 ENT specialists. We want one in the east, one in the west. If they had gone to Cuba, they could have at least requested that, and we may have gotten those specialist area. This is something that we need right now. Gynecology is an area that we need people in. We need people in that here. And that has been a constant problem over the years, that you need more gynecologists here. So you had the opportunity to send 12 Grenadians to study in Cuba. 12. Ask the government. They wouldn't put themselves in front of the cameras for you to ask them those questions. Ask them, how many scholarships, medical scholarships, medical in the field of medicine, for people to come back to Grenada as doctors. Ask them how many scholarships were available. Ask them what was the procedure for people to get those scholarships. Telling the Cuban government that's how nobody in apply for it. You don't have enough people to send for it. Nobody in apply. Nobody in interested. Come on. I myself alone could probably find about 12 young people that interested and have the qualifications to go and become doctors. Me alone, I could probably find 12. You telling me the government of Grenada can't find 12? You telling me in St. John, the place where right now they're asking if it even have a parliamentary representative. The place right now where they're asking if it have an office. St. John, they're asking if the parliamentary representative has an office there. Or if they even have a parliamentary representative. You telling me there are no young people in St. John that you could have snapped up at 2 and they could have get that opportunity to go to Cuba and study and become doctors? Joke are you making, because I know it have some brilliant young people in St. John who also have the academic qualification that if given the opportunity would have grabbed it with both hands and their toe as well to go to Cuba and study. You telling me there are no young people in Carriacou with the academic qualifications to go and become a doctor. And so, you're telling me there's none in St. Patrick, none in St. Andrew, none in St. George, none in St. Mark? You ought to be joking, man. That you can't find young people to send, even want to come back as a pathologist? Come on, man. We ought to be joking. And then, after you do that, and after you make the people spend money to get a ticket for your Minister of Health to go, yeah? Maybe he believe that praying alone is going to help people and he don't believe in actual medicine. Maybe he just believe that he go to the hospital, stand up over people that suffering with cancer or so on and just pray and that is it. Maybe he doesn't believe in actual medicine. Because why would you have the opportunity to go and not go? Because there are benefits to gain from this for the Grenadian people. That's the kind of thing, the nonsense that's taking place, and we're supposed to stay quiet. We're not supposed to speak about these things. We're not supposed to raise these issues. Yeah? You have what is taking place right now. What is taking place with the 94 people from the marketing board? So I'm hearing the story that they're going to remain, some of the outlets are going, well, the outlets in general are going to remain open with limited staff and so on. So they're asking some people if they want to stay on and that kind of thing. So let's see what happens from tomorrow. if any of the outlets are open, which would be going against what the government said that they're going to do. Remember, to actually close down marketing board, they have to go to Parliament, and there has to be a repealing of the Marketing and National Importing Board Act. This is created through an act of Parliament, and therefore to close it, you must go back to Parliament. You can't just say you're closing it and that is it. You must go back to Parliament and close it. Yeah? So there are these different things that are taking place. And they don't want us to talk. They don't want us to ask questions. They are the ones that was out there about Freedom of Information Act and so on. All of a sudden, all you get quiet on Freedom of Information Act. All of a sudden, all you have nothing to say about freedom of information. Instead of freedom of information, this is what we have being shoved in the face of the public workers and so right now. Instead of freedom, yeah, there's freedom of information for you. Freedom of information, NDC style. This is the freedom of information, NDC style. That you, as Grenadians, this is what is being pushed to you, to your public workers right now, and they asked to sign. And they walking them in now like if you're in North Korea and you're about to go for your execution. So they strip you of all your worldly belongings and they drag you forward to go and execute you. That's the kind of thing that they're getting on with right now. So it's not like we're living in a democratic Grenada, where if somebody in a ministry sees wrongdoing, they're not afraid to come out and talk about it now because you're making them sign oath of affirmation. But let me warn you all, Let me warn you all that you all better do some reading, because there's the Oaths Act. Yeah? So it you must go through chapter 217 of the Oaths Act. The Oaths Act. Just have a read of that, because it may very well be that what you are asking civil servants to sign right now is null and void. It may very well be a situation where what you're asking, this is freedom of information, NDC style. Freedom of information, NDC style. The same people are talking about freedom of information and letting the public know and all this sort of thing. Freedom of information, NDC style. Yeah.
As the media's difficulty in obtaining public information from government is one of the key issues he intends to address as the new Minister for Information. Mitchell explains that he believes in transparency and as such, he will be passing the Freedom of Information Act in Parliament to ensure that journalists in particular can perform their duties efficiently going forward.
One of the things that I think has to happen is that we have to strengthen the institutional framework that allows journalists to do their jobs, particularly as it relates to getting information from the government and the state. So we intend to pass the Freedom of Information Act that makes it easier for journalists and citizens to demand information from the government as to how they're conducting their business and affairs. And I think that will allow for journalists to be able to, when they ask the questions and the information is not being provided, to have a mechanism to demand that the information be provided.
This is one announcement that the president of the Grenada Media Workers Association, Jared Joseph, says they will keep their eye on while hoping this legislation materialized.
We are the Media Workers Association of Grenada. Welcome.
Yeah, that's the present Minister of Information speaking about freedom of information when he was just sworn in as the Minister of Information. Yeah. Because I wanted you all to hear what they had to say. That it's important that there's freedom of information, that you're getting information. And now the same people are the ones who are passing these documents out and forcing all the public workers to sign it. These are the same people. They're passing these documents now and they're asking people to sign. They're forcing them. Because they are not giving people the option not to sign. Are they giving you the option, civil servants? Those of you that have signed already, were you given the option not to sign? Or was it a situation that you are forced to sign? Yeah? That is what they're doing. You heard someone speak earlier that Prime Minister not even utilizing the Prime Minister's residence. All things like that they don't want you to know about. They don't want anybody be able to speak to you about those things. So you have a situation where there is a Prime Minister's residence available, yet still the Prime Minister is using what has been described as a rented property. Yeah? I don't know if it's a guest house because we're guessing right now. We have to be guessing. So maybe it's a guest house. So they have us guessing. Because up to now, you're not sure on exactly how much is being paid for it. Why? What is the reason? Yeah? And somebody's just telling me the letter I had up last year. No, it's not that the dates are confusing. What was happening on that letter is that they had a typo on the letter that said 2022. Yeah, that was a typo. But if you see the rest of the letter, it has 2023. Yeah, so they have a typo on it. It's not our, I can't edit it. I can't do anything to it because I'm just putting it up as we got it. So there was a typo on that letter in relation between 2020. They should have had 2022. But you know what happens in the month of January? A lot of people, when they should type in 1 year, they type in the year before. So I could understand how that would happen. All right? Yes, indeed. 440-7377. 440-7377. Let me take a little musical break while I get some water.
They say when you don't have good food, you must take in front. So this is my Kaiso for the Masgra 2023. Make sure all come out and support me. No politics, just Kaiso. Let's go. There is no place in the world like Grenada. Its people are so unique, so fabulous. They take politics real serious. You can't tell a man nothing wrong about his party. He'll deal with you so seriously, and from there on, you are his enemy. But as man, I must open my big mouth to lament on some things you know about. So the bother come attack me. Don't waste your time on a old jungle like me. Pie in the sky, promises and mama guy. Voters say their expectations were too high. Like the old proverb from way back long. You want to be wrong and strong.
And we've got a caller on the line. Good night.
Hello, Sheldon. Good evening. How are you, bro?
I'm quite fine. How are you doing?
Thanks be to God. Good.
All right. Go right ahead. You're live.
On the last call earlier, you ended your comment. It's difficult. And I was thinking, since the last few days of an encounter I had with a lady, I went to visit her on Friday. I tried getting on her phone, but I couldn't get her on the phone, so I went to visit her in person. And the vehicle stopped. She peeped out of the house in such a quick and frightening manner. So I made the joke. I said, "Yeah, come out and peep as mongoose." She said, "Oh God, boy, I thought it was grand like that. He come to cut me off." And then she started to tell me, well, she trying a little turn hand in terms of like a poultry. She rearing some fowls to make egg, sell eggs and so. And things are so bad and difficult that she's not even able to get the eggs sold. She said, I think last week, Tuesday, she was able to sell just 4 trays or cartons, whatever you call it, way up in Victoria. She had somebody up there said the one she had to send, and that lady, mind you, she now resides in St. Davis, somewhere in St. Davis. And it just broke my heart to see how people are suffering and the hardship they have to go through. So, 4 eggs in about a week, 4 crates of egg in a week. That's not enough to, take care of that lady. Because already she said she thought girl like had come. You should have seen the fear, and she peeped out the door, and she heard the vehicles, and I said, "Yeah, come people out as mongoose," and it really touched me, to see how people are actually living in fear of not knowing what's going to happen from one day to the next. And I'm really asking us to pray for people in these situations. We comment a lot, we raise the issues and so, but we really need to ask God to intervene, because I am seeing frustration. I'm sensing it. I'm seeing it. I'm hearing it. And God in heaven alone knows what would be the end result for some. It may break up families. Some may even attempt suicide. And I mean, I know that lady has a daughter to look after. And, Shala, it really broke my heart, to see. And you shall see the expression on her face, the fear. She does say, oh God, but I thought it was going like that come to. So imagine if going like cut out that electricity, and I guess with this 4 tray of eggs, she was able to sell it in about a week, and the month ending now, so I guess the cost of electricity would go up again, the arrears and all of that. So it is very, very difficult for people. And I find some people are just taking this lightly, like good for them, and just dismissing people's plight and suffering. I find there's a heartlessness on the part of some people, I mean, some people may from the opposition, from the government side or whatever, whose bread may be well buttered, I don't know, because I can imagine, regardless to who, once people are suffering, if you're a human being, you should have some sort of compassion, knowing that, as I always say, you could be in a similar situation in no time at all. And that's my contribution, Sheldon. Okay, good night and God bless.
All right, thank you very much, caller. Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a general lack of compassion. I see it. Sometimes you go online and you see a thread. For instance, over the weekend, there's this family in St. Andrew where the mother has lost her job, and key NDC supporter. This lady has been supporting NDC for many years now. Used to support NNP at one time, but has been supporting NDC, I think since probably about 2008 or so, has been supporting the NDC. Lost her job, and her daughters, who continued supporting the New National Party, were speaking out on their mother's behalf. Some of it I can't even play on air because, the language, language, we have to be careful. Yeah. But it's to see what some of the NDC people have been saying when that's been posted to some pages online. The kind of nasty things that they're saying. And it shows a lack of humanity, a lack of compassion. It's sort of dehumanizing. Because you hear the statements and you wonder, how could a Grenadian look at another Grenadian in distress and just don't care? To hell with them is NNP. Let it take it. That kind of thing. That they just have no compassion. No sort of compassion. These people can't be going to church on a Sunday. No. They could never be going to a church on Sunday because they have no compassion. There's just lack of empathy, no sympathy, no sort of humanistic behavior towards other people. They just don't care. So if someone loses their job, they're happy. They're rejoicing over people losing job. They're rejoicing over poor and vulnerable people who need it. Losing 150, saying let it go and work for it. But ask them, how does an 80-year-old go and work? How does a person who is disabled, who cannot walk, who can't even get up off of the bed, how does that person's circumstance improve that they come off a seed and they must go and work? How they go in and work? How do you expect the circumstances of these categories of people to improve that you could just take 150 from them and feel nothing about it? How could you? But then, you know what? Somebody asked for some clips. First one, remember they say they ain't paying salaries later? The pensioners who ain't getting money and the people who ain't getting money for the last 2 months. Just remember.
About empty treasury. Empty treasury. We in the NDC, we have the exposure. We have had the exposure. Good? And we know what to do to find money, to look after the needs of our people. And as I have the mic, let me say, as we go around as we go around the country and we speak to our people, that's a topic that they always say to us, we go pay salary late and we don't know how to run a country. Tell them that we say we know how to run a country and tell them that we wouldn't pay salary late. All right? Tell them that affirmatively. We're not going to pay salary late and we know how to run.
We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, Sheldon. Good night, brother. How you doing?
Hey, good night, Pass. I'm good.
All right. You see, that point you make just now is a real valuable point. But guess what? If the pastors, if some of the pastors are saying or uttering these sayings at church, in the pulpit, one about government officials, and I know they did that, they knocked Dr. Mitchell and the NNP real hard over the years and so forth. So in turn, some of the members, not all, because there are some, different political persuasion there at the church, right, at the congregation. So you remember the years gone by, pastors, some pastors, religious leaders, would have done the candle vigil all over the nation, all different color candle lit and so forth, because they wanted to see the back of the new national party. I am convinced, Sheldon, that the churches, the religious leaders and organizations, they have a lot to do. I said they because I'm not involved in this. I want to be straight up with that. My congregation, they know that I have never speak evil of any government official because I don't want them to do it. You see? Right? So I think that the president have to be set straight. And these persons who say that they are ministers, leaders, we ought to have respect. Now, if I disagree with you, Sheldon, on a particular matter, what does that have to do with separation or knocking you down or hating you? This is something that comes from way when, brother. We go to different religions. We support different political organizations, right? We eat different foods. We do things different. So I don't see the reason why. Now listen, I got my letter. You there?
I'm here.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
I got my letter, and I choose by my freedom of expression and so forth. I choose to express it that way to send it to you. So what's wrong with that? I didn't sign no what do you call the thing?
They call it the confidential oath of confidence or something like that. I'll pull it up again in a while. Yeah.
Right, that leaked thing. I didn't sign nothing. So someone called me today and said, "Your name calling. People getting to dislike you. They're surprised. They never knew that pastor was in this. A pastor would have sent a letter and he had to go home." Well, yeah, but you see, I don't have a problem because, yes, I know some of them have to go home. But what did our prime minister said? What did that organization said? They said that they was not going to send anybody home. Everybody gonna be permanent.
Yeah.
They're gonna get rid of this what do you call it things? Contract thing. There'll be no contract anymore. Huh?
Because they did promise that within 12 months of taking office, all the people who are in the Mani program would be hired permanently within the government service, and all contract workers, same thing. Well, and you were a contract worker. You were a contract worker.
Yeah, I was a contract worker. Right? So a contract worker cannot eat, cannot have medical bills and etc. So listen, this is behind my back, but I want them to stop that. I want them to to be more modest. You know, be more honest. Be honest with the Grenadian people, and stop darting here and there and with all the different cliches for popularity to make songs nice and all that kind of thing, and this kind of influential techniques. They need to stop that. They need to be honest. They need to really, really come true for the people. There are some people suffering out here. People bawling. There are people who crying every day. They are getting sick because of what's going on.
Hello? Hello? Oh boy, yeah. I think Pastor's phone went dead. Yeah. Pass, can you give us a call? Well, I'm not sure what happened there, but he cut off. But yeah, and this is the kind of thing that we've been speaking about, that you have these situations. For instance, let me show you this one. I've showed you it before, and I'll show you it again, because I want you all to understand where we're coming from when we say this group of individuals is not being honest with you. So we have this document that was sent out to the Division of Youth. Well, it remember, way back when it was Division of Youth, the New National Party created a Ministry of Youth. But right now, like, it reached back down to a division again, because they ain't really interested in young people and so. And this was the Prime Minister speaking about NIS.
But I just want to reflect a little on the consequences of our workers being placed on contract, and of the consequences of our workers being branded as Imanis and placed on contract. The consequences of that are, as I've said, you will not have a pension. For many of the contract workers, the government of Grenada has told them that they are required to pay their own NIS. And I'm calling out the National Insurance Scheme, because we all know that if a private employer refuses to pay the NIS contributions on behalf of his employees, they will be hauling him to the High Court, to the Magistrate Court. They will be auditing him up left, right, and center, and they will be hounding him down to ensure that the contributions are paid. The National Insurance Scheme is therefore required to ensure that the government of Grenada pays the NIS contribution for all of the employees of the government of Grenada. And let us understand what that means. It means if NIS is not being paid for you, you will not get an NIS pension, as little as it is. You will not be able to claim NIS sick leave. You will not be able to claim NIS maternity leave. You will not be able to claim a workplace benefit injury. The question, therefore, is, why would a government that cares about its people, about its workers, place its workers in a position where the statutory scheme that has been established since 1983 for all workers to have social security benefits like maternity leave, like sick leave, like workplace employment injury benefits, like a pension, like a funeral death grant, be taken away from you by the government refusing to pay your NIS contributions?
Yeah, and notice from what you're seeing on screen, and you can read on screen, the same individual that was saying that some months ago is in charge of the same government that has done this. Yeah? They're refusing to pay on behalf of the contract workers within the Ministry of Youth. They're refusing to pay. This is a note to all contracted personnel. So those who are on contract, they're telling them they have to pay their own pension, their own NIS. Now remember, he was saying that when the New National Party was doing something similar, that it was wrong. That the NIS should bring the government of Grenada to court and so. All that he said now applies to him, eh? All that he said now applies to him. And yes, thank you very much. This is the oath of affirmation that we were speaking about earlier. All that he says now applies to him. You can see it on the screen. Yeah? You can see it for yourself. That, oh, you heard all that he was saying, but this is what he was doing. Yeah? What they're saying and what they're doing does end up being two totally different things, eh? And let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Well, I wonder where you did tonight.
You wonder where I did tonight? You don't say good night to Mr. Me, I did. I'm listening to you.
I waited to hear. Because I'd
You
call you
waiting.
out.
You say good night to the whole world. And you don't hear Miss Cammy. You always call. You don't know if you are dead inside of here or it's some music.
You know if I
song
don't
is
hear.
that?
You know if I don't hear,
Anyhow,
you hear
good
me.
night. Good night. A lady give me a $50 again today for the young man that's
All right.
not well.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's wonderful.
I want to say something tonight. I don't want to say too much because they found me. Canadians beating me up. Are you beating me up? Are you beating up by yourself? Because last night I say, leave the man alone. Don't go back there. Are you beat up on me? Good. Grenadians and bunch of hypocrite people. I am not a hypocrite person. I allow man to speak my mind. And I for real. And nobody. I know certain people listening tonight. The man in River Sally, good night. Nobody can buy me scammy. Nobody in Grenada. Forget that. I got to forget that. Forget that. Nobody will buy me. I rather pound stone before I end up to betray Jesus Christ. I will never be a betrayer. I'll live in that one day. You know something, Mr. Scott? Let me tell some people in Grenada. I start the little business by making tamarind ball, you know. I never go to the bank where people go and get some $1 billion borrow. I never go to no bank. Tamarind ball. I start a business with. And I thank God. And I want to thank all the people in Grenada that helped me along the way with my friend. And by the way, today was my daughter birthday, my last daughter in America, was born in America. Today, is her birthday. Akira, Scott, good night, darling, happy birthday. And people call me. They tell me all kind of dirty things about also food as things. They cost me for Peter David, they cost me for Kit Mitchell. The amount of dirty things Grenadians tell me. And I take all the blows for them. All the blows. But how you want me to call and say things for me to be famous? Already famous over the years. Since from Gary time I'm famous. I want to tell all you cannot buy me, scammy. There is something I could say, and I could disturb the Grenadian people tonight. And some of them can't sleep. I could sleep, you know. I sleep when the night comes. I have nothing to worry about. Peter Mitchell, as the Prime Minister of this country, don't have to worry about me. He have to look around who they are around him. Not me. I got no threat to that man. So I'll forget it. And my mouth dirty on the ground. You understand?
Cammy.
Shall I not take too much elixir?
No, let me ask you. What did Kaunda say to Maurice Bishop?
He warned them about the people around him.
All right. That is all.
Yeah.
That is a lesson for everybody. Yeah.
Yes.
Your enemies in
He
your
warned them.
footstool.
So, Mr. Prime Minister, I know you have listened to this program, eh? Don't worry about me. Because I don't put a picture in my window of you. Worry about the people around you, sir. And my little advice to you, sir. Find yourself in a little room by yourself and talk to God. Talk to God and ask Him. Tell Papa God to show you where you're going wrong. Ask Him for mercy. You hear me, sir? Ask Him for mercy. Don't worry about Miss Tammy. I could say a lot of things tonight, and people go bad. I don't want to call nobody name. Because as simple as you see me there, things I know, you don't know. Things I can Scott know, you don't know, sir. Just find yourself in a little room, a closet in your house, and in your house, and pray to God. Are you talking about candle and about, as the pastor say, we have to be careful when we lighting candles. They have a meaning for lighting candles. Whatever going on in Grenada, You all bring it on all yourself, you know. On all yourself. Go ahead. Don't listen to the people on the ground. If I don't want to listen, well, you get dead. I don't sorry for nobody, and I don't want no sympathy, and I don't want nobody to do things for me and talk about it. Don't do nothing for me. I don't want nobody to sorry for me. Because I know the God I serve. Shalom, Scott, good night. And good night to you.
Camille Teresa Scott, your full government
Yes.
name. We love you, girl.
I don't
we love
want no
you.
hypocrite friend.
No, but we love
what
you.
To say.
We love you. We love you.
I said, I don't know if people love me. Yeah, people that they are wrong me and they don't love me. They're only pretending. Yeah. I got true NNP, you know. I am not no hypocrite, you know. I love people, you know. I don't like when they're doing wrong things. And some people is not real. And they like to underestimate people's intelligence. Have a good night.
All right, my dear. Yes, indeed. Yes. And you see in the day, a true soldier. Speak the truth. Yes. Indeed. And here, when you talk about speak the truth, here one of the government ministers and them when they was on the campaign trail. Hear them.
Employment. An NDC government will put an end to contract workers in the public service as soon as it takes office. There is no need for a parallel public service in Grenada. All workers will be given permanent status. This will allow these workers to enjoy the same benefits that a current public servant now enjoy. We will also ensure that all workers benefit from pension and gratuity once and for all.
Yeah, that is Honorable Cornwall, isn't it? Yeah. Let me hear him again.
Employment. An NDC government will put an end to contract workers in the public service as soon as it takes office. There is no need for a parallel public service in Grenada. All workers will be given permanent status. This will allow these workers to enjoy the same benefits that a current public servant now enjoy. We will also ensure that all workers benefit from pension and gratuity once and for all.
Yeah, so you heard, when they talk about what was wrong with NIS, they come back and they do the same thing that they say was illegal and wrong and NIS need to pull up on the government on. They promise that they're going to hire all the contract workers, that they're going to make them permanent. We know what happened. You heard from one a short while ago that was let go. We heard of 88, it may be over 88 now, in St. Andrew, Southeast alone. Not in the whole of St. Andrew, just in St. Andrew, Southeast alone. We heard of 88 and that was a few weeks ago. I'm sure by now there are others. Yeah? We heard the Prime Minister, no, they don't like when we start to line up the clips. Yeah.
So let me zero in. You have a seed program. The World Bank says if you're making $650 or less, you're poor. Yet still, the seed program is only paying you $350 and $450. They are aware of the World Bank report. Why then raise the seed program to $650 or more? So if they're interested in truly alleviating poverty or truly helping you, they would raise the figure to $650 or more. So I'm saying to all of the persons who are genuinely on the seed program, particularly our older citizens who would have worked to help build Grenada.
But it's not us say that. That's the same man that take out $150 from the same people he was talking about. The people that he was saying how much they're getting is not enough. So imagine, imagine you tell somebody, hey, you're working for that and that is not enough. Come and work for me. You're not working for enough. And the person was working for 800. And when they come and work for you, you say, boy, but you know it's only 500 I could give you. After you make them leave the work that they had. You understand? That's what they say sometimes you in good house, bad house does call you. Well, that's exactly what happened there. But they don't like when we play in them stuff, you know. Because they can't tell us that we lie. If it's one thing they can't say, they cannot say that we lie. They can't say that we lie because we are able to play what they said. Yeah? So whether it is we play Lennox Andrews for you, or we play Deacon Mitchell for you, or we play whether it's Dennis Cornwall for you. We playing what they saying. We ain't playing what we say. We playing what they're saying. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hi, good night, Mr. Sheldon. Good night.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine, sir.
Okay, go right ahead. You're live.
Yeah, I'm just calling to say yesterday I have a passed and made a contribution towards a young man that needs to do the dialysis. And I
Great.
think we really forget to mention that we do.
No. One thing. The moment somebody, I'm sure it ain't even leave yet, she does call.
Yeah,
within minutes.
I
So she did.
What she make mention about a lady passing about $50 today, but I passed yesterday and made a contribution. So
Yeah, she did call.
Really forget.
She did tell me, yeah.
Okay.
She just didn't mention it on air, but she always mentions. The moment a person, sometimes I think the person still stand up there and she does call.
Okay then.
All right, so thank you so very much.
Okay.
All right, great. Yes, indeed, folks. And those of you who can make contributions, yes, we do have the link online for those of you that are not in Grenada, or even if you're in Grenada and you want to use your debit card or your credit card and you can make a donation. And for those of you that are in Grenada, as usual, you know, Cami is safer hands, as I always say. And I'll tell you, the moment somebody passed by Cami, within, I'm sure it could have to be seconds sometime, I get a call. If I don't get a direct call, I get a message. Hey, a person has passed, this person from so-and-so, they leave this. And yesterday she did call and say that the individual left it there. Because it is a situation that the individual has to do their dialysis. We have to continue trying to assist as much as possible. And as I said, there are other people that we need to assist as well. So as many of you that can, when you can, please pass by and leave off something. So we try to build up so that we have enough for him to be able to go and do a treatment, and then we call them over and it's passed on to them so that they can go and do the treatment. All right? 4407, and again to that last caller, thank you so very much on behalf of the family and so on. I know sooner or later we'll be hearing from the individuals again, but on their behalf, I'd like to thank you so very much. And for all of you that have been donating, we like to say thank you so very much. And for those of you that have been sending good wishes and so on, prayers as well, we like to thank all of you as well. We have a caller online. Good night.
Yeah, my brethren, Sheldon, my brethren, I just call it. Me boy, let me tell you something. That money there in a green cup. An NNC cup in my cupboard. In my cupboard in the terminal. You know, anybody bring $1, I would call and say, Sheldon, so
within seconds.
And drop that, yes.
Within seconds,
Don't worry. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, man, safe. Yeah,
I don't want cost take me because I don't want no cost take me. You know what I say, me boy? Anybody, people send from America, I don't, so don't worry about that. I'm good.
All
you
right.
could trust me, Scammy.
Safer hands.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cami.
Bye-bye.
All right. Yes, indeed. And somebody just asked me for this clip, so let me play this clip because and wait, before I play that clip, let me get something to put up while I'm playing that clip. Let me just get wait, what do you think there? Nice. I want to put up something, and we go play this clip, and we go put up that, right? Nice. Let me play this clip.
Well, and let me just say that we are not closing down MNIB. I think the Prime Minister said that option is not on the table, right? The idea is how can we make it more efficient, right? And so that is why we wanted to have consultation with the people so that when making our decision, we can be guided accordingly. But we are not closing down MNIB.
Yeah, I think what we see on the screen says differently, so.
Well, and let me just say that we are not closing down MNIB. I think the Prime Minister said that option is not on the table, right? The idea is how can we make it more efficient, right? And so that is why we wanted to have consultation with the people so that when making our decision, we can be guided accordingly. But we are not closing down MNIB.
Yeah, I just want to make sure and that you all understand because you're seeing on the screen, so we're playing it one more time. One more time.
Well, and let me just say that we are not closing down MNIB. I think the Prime Minister said that option is not on the table, right? The idea is how can we make it more efficient, right? And so that is why we wanted to have consultation with the people so that when making our decision, we can be guided accordingly. But we are not closing down MNIB.
Yeah, I think well, you all gonna have your say in relation. Yes, a few moments later. My goodness. And I mean, yeah, and then we have statements like this particular one.
My government has decided to continue the vertical expansion of seed program, which was scheduled to end in December of this year. This therefore means that family will continue to receive the additional $150 per household. This therefore means that family will continue to receive the additional $150 per household, scheduled to end in December of this year. This therefore means that family will continue to receive the additional $150 per household.
And we have a caller. Good night.
Hi, Sheldon. Good night. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine.
Right. Regarding some of maybe so-called new maybe development in the Wall Street area.
Yeah, I think somebody called last night. Somebody is telling me that area that they clear there is where they're going to move all the vendors from Wall Street to.
That is what I'm hearing. Number one, I hope they did some feasible studies in a sense that because they're going to put them there. How are we going to get into there? Where the parking is going to be? Are there going to be people jumping off from the vehicles, running across the drains to get drinks to create more traffic? Yeah. And another thing is that the people who went in, I think they're paying $200. Now they got to have pay $600, my brother.
So
$600. How?
For that area,
I didn't get how.
As it is right now, it means they would have to pave that area over, or at least put gravel down, because one rainfall and you have a mud pit there. Also, there's the issue, as you mentioned, of the traffic in that area. If that is the intention, the traffic in that area, as I said, vehicles stopping, man running to get a beer or to get something to eat, different things like that.
And you know the Grana's Road.
And especially in that area. In that area. I know of an individual that was killed in that area. Yeah, just before there. I know of an individual that was hit and killed right there.
I don't know how true it is. Like, you think about something at night while you're sleeping, and you get up and do it in the morning. My goodness, look at it. This Grana's is even more busy than town itself. And this is what you're going to do? Yeah, this is, like before you come to arrive, when you arrive at those situations, what lead you to it? What's form of studies you have done? Yeah. What is going to happen there on a Saturday evening? A Friday evening. Yeah. Why what was the name of the park there?
Kamahon Park.
Yes, why that place cannot be nicely developed and put even more people there nicely? Because it have parking facilities and everything, you could go there, do things in a proper and a relaxing manner.
What I would be interested in finding out is the reasoning behind doing that, and also who are the contractors for doing that, because I want to find out if the contractors is people I was seeing wearing the specific yellow jersey with a heart on it and that kind of thing. I want to know who's the contractors for the work to develop that area. And I want to know the reasoning behind selecting that particular spot, the traffic plan for that area, what the police are saying in relation to the traffic plan for that area, and how much that development is going to cost. If it's something that's going to work out, I have no problem with it. If it's something that when they come out and they say this is what you're going to do and this is how they're going to do it, and you find out, hey, that's a better spot, I have no problem with that. But from what I see, and from what I can think of in relation to that area, you're setting up man to get robbed in the bush there. That's how I see it.
We have this being cut like it's a Gaza Strip. It is all how it's not even properly being done. I mean, if you're doing a development, do a proper development. Yeah? But you're just doing a thing. Yeah, looking at that loan, looking at the clearance alone, give you that this thing is going to be a problem.
All right. Let's see how it develops, my friend. I saw the gang there clearing up and so, but I wasn't sure what was taking place. I thought they're just clearing up a spot. So it's now that I'm hearing it's that. So, but again, this is the problem that I keep coming back to from the beginning of the program to now. They are not making themselves available to be questioned on these things. It's just do thing, and don't study when nobody tell you. Just do thing. So you see the spot being cleared and so, and there's no post cabinet for a journalist to ask. There's no forum that the general public would be able to ask questions and so on. It's not taking place. Yeah, so I'm concerned. I'm seriously concerned.
I just imagine this will be $600 a month. I mean, come on. You be selling barbecue there for every day? I mean, different people comes and go at different times. $600 is a lot of money. Yeah, I mean,
sometimes that's the profit.
Let's be serious.
That's the profit you make sometime for the month in the first place.
God, man. Nah, man. Nah.
All right,
anyhow, have a good evening.
Same to you.
Yeah.
440-7377. For those of you that may not be aware of what the caller is speaking about, there's an area down there just across from Lamaki, the Lamaki Mall, the original mall down in Grand Anse. There's an area just across from there that we've seen some debushing taking place and some clearing of the land there. And the talk is that is where they're going to remove the vendors from Wall Street and place them down there on that particular spot. If that is true, I don't know, because again, you can't question the government on these things. Even if you send messages to the Prime Minister's press secretary and so, you're not getting responses and so. Who is he to ask questions, that sort of thing. We have a call online. Good night.
Gerard, I just wake up and recover again.
Yeah.
Listen now. Good night. You know something I'm not hearing? I'm a citizen of this country. I'm born here. Nobody can send me nowhere again. I didn't Grenada, my home. I'm not hearing anything about Mr. Martin, the Commissioner of Police. This is a very important man in Grenada, To be in charge of the police post.
What I could tell you,
I don't hear nothing about Mr. Martin, Sheldon Scott.
There was some info on him last week that he is out on medical leave and there is an acting commissioner in place. But
they know
Mr.
he's
Martin,
on medical leave?
No, they did say he's on medical leave.
Oh, that's what they say?
Yeah, they said that he was on medical leave.
Mr. Martin, wherever you is tonight, Mr. Kami saying good night. I don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
I heard Kulturan saying, that man used to be, is out of, what his name again, lad? I hear his name just saying he go be commissioner. I know he's a good man. He work with me in the terminal. He work in the prison. But we as the Grenadian people have to know. We have to know. And if you're talking again, Mr. Scott, about press conference, Kalistra, Kellan Bob, all these people have to ask them to have a press conference, because when it was under NNP time, they used to find themselves there to ask all kind of hardball. They was playing cricket under the NNP time too, when they had a press conference. And to me, I don't know who they vote for, who they supported, but I've been listening to them over the years. Now they should have find themselves as a journalist. As Jito Mitchell and a morning rich and top the place in the office. Good morning, sir. And start to interview them. And I look at international news, them journalists hiding and wait as you sneak out your car and they go up to you and they ask you a question, Why they don't do that if you're a journalist? To tell people what's going on?
Well, it
may
get to that stage because...
That's why you don't like me and I don't eat things from nobody now, Because I know right now you're trying to kill me, but my God is able, he's bigger than all you. You understand? When was NNP? You all could have find yourself there very early to get a shot of how they dress and ask Alcott, go up in the complex and back up right there as he come out, good morning, sir. and you asking him what you have to ask him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If me food is good, I find myself probably I dressing nice and I go and say good morning, son, and asking him some hard questions. But the time will come, don't worry,
Of course.
because I'm not afraid of anybody. My God is bigger than man.
And they say time longer than
I
twine.
just meditate, you know, and when I meditate, I just give all your message. But the Grenadian people don't listen to me. They tell themselves, I'm nothing. I can't tell them nothing. But sometimes I speak it in local terms. That's how we Grenadians go. I speak it in local terms, so you're supposed to know what I'm speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't see trouble yet. We don't see trouble yet. And Papa God, I mean, it's terminal for a reason. When I see children, the parents giving them the money, yes, go to school. And they might, the money to go back up, they buy a juice. And their eyes almost in tears. And I cannot say no as a grandmother, you know. You understand? I want even some of my own supporters to strengthen me. Are you beating me? I'm my back brother taking it really. We're supposed to be one people. And when you are mad and I say things, I can't pray. I leave it alone. When God speaks to the heart, I go back to him. And if you're real and you love your party, you have to go in sackcloth and ash. Go in sackcloth and ash and start to pray for your country and your party, because you know under the NNP, we as Grenadians benefit. We benefit from that party. God bless them, you know. And I don't want to continue beat me, but I don't pray. Because God knows my heart. Good night to Miss Yolan Bain Hospital and your mom. Good night. Night, Grenada. Good.
All right, Camille.
Scott,
yes, my
I
love.
don't hear enough from me from tonight. And when you don't hear me, don't worry a day.
Nah,
have a good night, Grenada. Patty.
When I don't hear, I
Patty,
still have to check.
Patty and Mr. Watt, I know you all listening online. I say good night to y'all. Be good in Grenada for now. Today, I could have paid me water bill today. Thank God. Thank God.
All right,
You
Camille.
understand? And there's a lot more like we, you know. So if you could stretch hand for somebody, stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold back. Anyhow, good night, Grenada.
Good night, Camille. Yes, indeed, folks. That's Miss Kiame. Yes, indeed. And I want to show you all one more thing, you know. One more thing. Yeah, because as I spoke about police, I realize I'm not hearing a certain name when it comes to police, but I know the Chinese. Yeah, the Chinese, they have awarded Mr. Tafawa Pierre, the Deputy Commissioner of Police. Yeah, so they have awarded him, you know, for significant contributions in law enforcement, for assistance that he has provided. Yeah? So I've just decided I want you all to see. Because I realize there's a certain name I find I ain't hearing these days at all when you're talking about police and thing. You ain't hear any name. I wonder why. Yeah? I wonder why. Why they afraid him so? Huh? We have a caller online. Oops. We had a caller online. Why they afraid Mr. Tafawa Pierre so? Why, I mean, come on, man. Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, that is the senior person there. If you're having an acting commissioner of police, I thought that he might have been the acting commissioner of police. But it seems as though other things taking place. As I told you all before, a lot of things taking place in that Royal Grenada Police Force. And remember, and I hear government even talking about that one yet, you know. You know you have to rebrand the Royal Grenada Police Force, right? Because you know the stuff that mark ER on the hats and the badges and then you know all of that have to change now to RR. Is it RR? No, CR. Yeah. So they has to, and we have to make up our minds to if we're going down that road of continuing with something called the Royal Grenada Police Force. We have to make up our mind if we're going down that Her Majesty's prison, His Majesty's prison. We have Oh boy, I don't know what's happening with that caller. Yeah. And in fact, it's too late to take any more calls now. But we have to make up our minds, because I don't think a lot of us look at that. It has been labeled as Her Majesty's Prison. You have to change all of that over to His Majesty's Prison. Why are we even bothering to call it His Majesty's or Her Majesty's Prison? They doesn't spend a cent on it. It's you and me as Grenadians that spend the money. So why are we calling it His Majesty's and Her Majesty's Prison? Time to get rid of that. Yeah? Royal Grenada Police Force, time for us to change the name. Yeah, time for us to change the name. And get rid of all these little emblems and all kind of thing that now me and you are going to have to spend a set of money to change over now. Look at the police badges and thing, you realize it's as ER. Elizabeth Regina. Right? So now it has to change to CR for Charles. And don't think it's Regina. Is what do you call it again? There's the male version of it. But it's going to change. And me and you are going to have to pay for that. The royal family is not going to be paying to change the emblem on the police force here in Grenada to continue carrying their name. We are going to have to pay for that. So all of these things, we have to look at these things and understand that probably these are things that we need to change. Or probably we even need to update the uniforms or things like that. But definitely the name had to change. But with all of that, that's just the outer look of the entire organization. But what is taking place inside there now, that had to fix first. That chaos that's going on inside there, the fact that you have police officers who are in acting position going on over a year now, and their acting allowance was stopped in September of last year, them thing had a fix. That the issue of pay and grade is not being addressed in a serious manner. Because if you're telling them you can't find a report that take a couple seconds to get by just an email, then you're not serious about dealing with the particular issue. Yeah? If it's the issue of promotions, yeah? All of a sudden you hear a man with lists going in communities and playing like they pass by a rum shop and asking about this policeman because he's supposed to get a promotion. And they want to find out who he's supporting politically. All that kind of nonsense that's taking place, but we go have that conversation the next day. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being with you. My name is Sheldon Scott. I am out of here. And everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. I'd like to thank our good friends with We Noise out there, Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn. And of course, 91.9, 91.5 Real FM down here in Grenada. And those of you that have joined us via the YouTube and the Facebook and our webpage, all of you who have joined the program, remember, we will be back here, God's willing, tomorrow night from 8 p.m. with more talking points for you. We are out.
We are the winning team. We are the winning team. We are the winning team. And we will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. Grenada Inshida is our. We will deliver. Poverty rising by the hour. You don't see everybody sour. What the first? That is why we bringing back Jonah. How you mean? We will deliver. Everybody. We will deliver. We will deliver. You don't know. People wanted change, so we give them change. Now it's big horrors. They wanted dollars. Unemployment high, for people go slow. For this country, God, and the sea must go. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. Grenada Inshida is our. We will deliver. Poverty rising by the hour. NNP will deliver. You don't see everybody sour. What's your face? That is why we bringing back Jonah. Every time. Smile again. We will deliver. We will smile again. We will deliver. 4 years no investment, can't see no betterment. Only promising, but nothing happening. Well, how me country run is of great concern. Grenada fall down, so let Jonah return. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. We are the NNP.
rising by the hour. You don't see everybody sour. Watch this. That is why we bringing back Jonah. We will deliver. We will deliver. We will deliver. We will deliver.
Bola made MNP and Bola. Paris Model, Boston and Delma.
Who again? Nimrod, Clement and Oliver. Who again? Clifton, Boeing, Alexandra. 15.
Nicky still W, me brother.
I said 15.
And bring the doctors with Prime Minister.
Yo. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. Oh, you mean? We will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. We need that inch that is power. We will deliver. Poverty rising by the hour. NNP will deliver. You don't see everybody sour. We will deliver. That is why we bringing back Jonah. We will deliver. We will deliver. We will deliver. We will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. Oh, you mean? NNP will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver.
The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress. We moving on. The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress. Take a good look around.